everyone, Bailey Jordan here with the Jordan Group. Welcome back to our channel. Today I am going to dive into a topic I'm pretty excited to share. We've been hearing this conversation kind of a lot with home buyers in this market. As we do approach an unprecedented market, we are seeing buyers debate over new construction and resale. So today I kind of want to dive into that with you and why I think sometimes in this market it is a better deal for buyers to dive into new construction. The first reason I think buyers should dive into new construction is interest rates. Yes, I get it. Interest rates are higher than what we have seen since the early 2000s, so in the last 20 years. And the power of the interest rate affects your monthly mortgage payment, which affects people's budget, which affects your buying power, and there's a lot that goes into that. And so while rates are the highest they have been in 20 years, what builders can do, because they have more flexibility on the back end with their funds and what they can offer, and they do study the market and kind of see where we are going, where we've been, what the demand is going to be, they can play around with terms a little bit more loosely than, say, resale, local lenders, and people in those categories. And so currently where we are seeing the typical average market rate anywhere between 7 to 8%, new construction rates are much, much lower and are more pleasing to buyers. But builders out there some of them are as low as in the 3s again. Many are between 4 to 5%, and some are on a tiered structure. So some builders are offering that 2-1 buy down that we went over a couple of weeks ago. Some are even doing a 3-1 buy down, so your rate is tiered over the first 3 years of your loan, and then it finishes out at the same term from year 3 to 30. They are just able to kind of play a lot more with the specific interest rate, and so ultimately what your budget could be, you could probably afford a little bit more money with a new construction home purchase right now because of the rates they're offering. Reason number 2, closing cost assistance. So I will say in today's market and what we are seeing during this specific time frame, sellers on the resale market are also starting to offer closing costs and credits and concessions. That is definitely something you can incorporate into your offer, but a lot of builders, regardless of what your offer is, they are offering closing costs. Sometimes it's all of your closing costs, sometimes it is a set amount, sometimes they even have what's called flex money, where they may say, you sign a contract and we are going to give you $20,000 in flex money, and you can do whatever you'd like with that. Maybe it's partial closing, maybe it's partial down payment, maybe it's upgrades to the home. But all in all, the builders are giving a good amount of a credit to buyers when you sign a contract with them. And a lot of times it can go to fund all of your closing costs, a percentage of your prepaids, which is going to be your escrow taxes, your home insurance, things of that nature. And then sometimes you can use what is left over for added benefits on a home. Reason number 3 is overall negotiation. So builders, they have been building because we've been low inventory, and we still are low inventory, but because we've been so low inventory since the early 2000s, when a lot of builders stopped building, and our generation and home buying numbers have just continued to grow and grow and grow, and builders kind of stopped building after what happened in the early 2000s. We are, as a country, very behind on inventory, and so because of that, the last few years they have been building a lot, especially with the demand that we just came out of in the last 2 years when interest rates were 1, 2, 3%. There was a lot of demand during those years, right? And so they really picked up, and we're buying more land, clearing more land, and have all these homes slated. And so now with where interest rates are, we've seen a little bit of a pullback in the market, and so they have a lot of these homes slated and they want to get them off their books. And so since they want to move them, it is leaving the room for more negotiation with builders than I've seen in a long time. And so that may come in the form of asking for money off the price. It may come in for a little bit more closing cost. It may come in, I've recently had it where we asked for the builder to pay off the CDD fee and they said yes. And so there's a lot of ways that you can sit down with your real estate agent and get creative on what you want to include in your offer and negotiate with the builder. Of course, it is going to vary by builder. Sometimes even with builders, it varies by neighborhood and area. Those are 3 reasons right now why I think buyers should heavily look at the option of new construction, just because truthfully you can get a lot more funds. You can keep money in your own pocket, keep the money that you've had in savings for your home buying. If you're getting a lower rate, your mortgage is probably going to be a lot more feasible, which means you could buy a more expensive home. If they're paying all of your closing costs, a little bit of your down payment, and then if you can negotiate some off the sale price or the CDD paid off, that's going to save you money in the long run on your taxes and your mortgage payment. There's just so many great benefits right now to new construction. And remember, if this is your first home, it doesn't have to be your forever home. Utilize these incentives and these programs to get into a property, start gaining equity, buy an appreciating asset, and then in a couple of years, you'll have equity to then maybe move up into a home you'd like to maybe spend in a little bit more long term. You could turn this one into a rental, start your investment portfolio. There's a lot of options, but essentially there is so much free money out there and rooms for negotiations with builders. I encourage you to check it out if you are in the market to buy right now.